All right, well, welcome everybody. The Office of Programs to Enhance Neuroscience Workforce Diversity within the National Institutes of Neurological Disorders and Stroke is very pleased to welcome you to the Open Stage webinar series. This is the targeted outreach effort that we do for our diverse neuroscience community to learn about NINDS programs and network with NIH and NINDS program staff. This month, we are very excited to have with us NINDS staff from all over the Institute who will speak about their journeys to NINDS from HBCUs. So before we get started, I just have a few housekeeping items. So a few reminders, you are going to be muted, so all attendees are muted. If you have questions, we very much encourage that, but please submit them through the chat. And a reminder that we will transcribe and archive all of this meeting on the website, and we'll share any resources and the recording afterwards in an email, so look out for that. You can enable closed captions under live transcript at the bottom of your screen. And then details about where to find kind of the archived version, again, will be sent by email and on social media. Please do follow us on Twitter. We have a podcast. Season 4 is coming up very soon, so please listen to that. And please do, stay connected with us and feel free to email us if you have any questions or concerns. So with that, I'm very excited to pass this off to Dr. Jett.
All right. Hi, everybody. So I'm Dr. David Jett. I am an office director here at the NINDS. You may remember me from last year. It went so well last year that we decided to sort of make this an annual show right around Juneteenth. I am a proud HBCU graduate from Hampton Institute back then. And you might know that I'm in a fraternity. You may know that, I don't know. And I want to introduce you to a few more proud HBCU grads who work with me to tell their stories and what it's like to work here at NIH. So that's all about me. I want to go straight and turn over this to our first speaker, excuse me, which is Rakandi Medley. So I'll just turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Jett. Hi, everyone. Hope you can hear me fine. Again, my name is Rakandi Medley, and I would like to share my journey on how I ended up at a HBCU and now here at NIH. Letting go of the past, but keeping the lessons that taught you. So just a little bit about myself. I am from a small city in Southern Maryland. I'm the oldest of 5, married to my husband for 4 years, and we are dog parents to our Boston Terrier, who is 2 years old, Dice. I grew up most of my life with both of my parents in the household, but born in the 80s during the crack epidemic, unfortunately, my mother was a victim of the drug. So my childhood was not as pleasant as normal. And being the oldest of 5, I had to grow up quickly. My mother was in and out of the home, and my dad had to continue to work to keep the many roofs over our head. My mom was a high school graduate, but my dad was only had a 10th grade education. So I'd say all of that to say, college was never a thought, and it was impossible for me. Next screen. So here I am, my senior year in high school. My goal was to graduate and go straight to work. My cousin, who was already in the federal government, was able to get me a temporary federal job at the Missile Defense Agency. So I thought I was set, graduate and go straight to work. But my mind was changed. The church program that I was affiliated with started promoting the route to college through the youth programs that I was in. Not only that, but amongst my peers in high school, college obviously was the #1 topic. So it began to influence me. So I thought, why not take the chance? Not only would this be a great opportunity for myself, it would be a great example to my brothers and sisters, which was very important to me. So frantically, I started to apply. Since I waited late, my choices were very limited. But for some reason, I always knew when I started to apply that I only wanted to apply to HBCUs. I wanted my college experience to be surrounded by people of similar background and cultural experiences. Next slide. So I applied to 3 HBCUs, Cheyney University, North Carolina A&T, but obviously the one I chose was Virginia Union University. And if there's anyone that are fellow Panthers, go ahead and put that in the chat. So a couple of reasons I felt like VU was the perfect fit for me. One, it was only a 2.5-hour drive from where I was from. So far enough to be away from home, but close enough to run back when needed. And as you can see, it was a really small campus compared to others and very small in population. But I really loved that for me. It was just like high school part 2. The classrooms were intimate, the professors were accessible, so making relationships was not hard at all. So like I mentioned earlier, I had the temporary position with Missile Defense Agency. So the position was actually in the HR department. So I thought, okay, for my major, it only makes sense to do HR. But the downfall to VUU, it was such a small institution that that wasn't even on the curriculum. So I went ahead with marketing. Remember, this was a last minute decision. So I didn't really thought much of what I wanted my major to be. But the plus sides of going to HBCU and Virginia Union especially is that we had to take courses such as Black religion and American history, which I love because I was always able to stay connected to my culture. Next slide, please. So fast forward, May 2008, I graduated as a first generation graduate, which I'm very, very proud of. Next slide. But I didn't choose my career chose me. When I graduated with a marketing degree, I thought, hey, getting a job will be easy. I'm sure we all thought that, but that was not the case at all for me. I actually ended up in different retail positions, which I really hated, but it was all that I could do at the time. And I felt like all of that money and all of that time was for nothing. But I never gave up. So I took the first opportunity, and even though it had nothing to do with marketing, I just felt like it was right for me, which was the Smithsonian Institute. So from one federal job to the other, as you can see, I ended up under the umbrella of the administrative field. And 20 years later, I'm still here. Next slide. And here I am. Now I'm here at NIH. I've been here for the last 2 years. I was actually hired over the pandemic, which was frightening in itself because I was thinking to myself, how am I going to learn a new job virtually? But thankful for my supervisor, my teams, my peers that made the transition seamlessly. So I'm an operations coordinator. I support multiple programs, including Blueprint Neurotherapeutics, Biomarkers Heal, and the Heal program. But the one that I relate to the most is the Heal program, helping to end addiction long-term. And while the HEAL program focuses on improving prevention and treatment to opioid misuse, it still touches me because of the addiction that I see my mother struggle with. So talk about the circle of life. Last slide, please. So to close, what was the lesson from my past? That the past cannot stop your future. Your suffering will produce perseverance to character, and to character to hope. And I would like to end by sharing that today, my mom is 21 years sober, so she herself did not let her past stop her. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And I'm going to, let's see, I hope I'm unmuted. But let's just move right on to Dr. Nsini Umos, who's going to talk about her pathway.
Thank you, Dr. Jett. I feel like we need a round of applause
I
after
know.
that last presentation.
It was really good.
Yeah, but good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nsini Umo, and I'm going to be sharing just a snapshot of my journey. So next slide, please. And I'm going to share exactly how it led me here to NINDS. So since I was a child, I always liked science. I knew at a really young age that I was either going to be a scientist or a lawyer. And those were the two career paths that I saw for myself. And as I got older and transitioned through middle school and high school, my interest in science really grew, and it took off in a way that it was really clear to me that this was a path that I wanted to pursue. Although I think I would have been a pretty good lawyer as well, I decided to follow my heart and pursue something that I was really interested in. Next slide, please. So although I was born in Washington, D.C., I spent most of my childhood and early 20s in Delaware. I graduated from Delaware State University with my bachelor's degree, and I knew that during that time I wanted to pursue a PhD. So I actually applied to several different institutions, and one of those places that I applied to was Howard University, right here in DC, which is one of the top HBCUs in the country, which I'm proud to say. So I was accepted by several different PhD programs and institutions, but ultimately I decided to attend Howard since my dad received his PhD from there as well. So at that point, I decided to follow in those footsteps to some degree and keep the tradition going on in the family. So after I graduated with my PhD, I did a postdoctoral fellowship at Yale University, where at that point, my focus was on regenerative medicine and extremity trauma on a large animal model. And I continued trauma research at the U.S. Army Institute of Surgical Research, which, as the name sounds, it's a government laboratory for the Department of Defense. So doing research with the DoD, it really motivated me to stay in the government. And while I was there, I got a taste of doing administrative work while still being involved in the science. So one of the leaders at the Institute of Surgical Research at that time, they really knew how interested I was in the administrative side of things. So that person actually assisted with getting me a position at the U.S. Army Medical Research and Development Command, which is right here at Fort Detrick in Frederick, Maryland. So I spent numerous years with the DoD, and while I was there, I started off as an assistant portfolio manager for the traumatic brain injury portfolio, and I was eventually able to work my way up to being the program manager for the portfolio. So I also spent some time with the VA as well, where I managed a brain injury portfolio, and I was also a scientific review officer at the VA also, because at the VA, both of those positions are combined in one, an SRO and a program director. So I wore both hats at that time, and eventually I ended up here in NINDS. Next slide, please. So here I'm a program director within the Division of Neuroscience. I work in the repair and plasticity cluster with a truly awesome group of people that you can see in this picture. And in general, our cluster supports research that focuses on the course of degeneration and repair following injury to the nervous system, as well as strategies and interventions to improve functional outcomes. And we have several different focus areas within our cluster, including traumatic brain injury, stem cells, spinal cord injury, and neuroengineering. Next slide, please. So what is it specifically that I do? So I do program planning and development, program management. I also disseminate information to the TBI research community, as well as TBI funding partners at different agencies. I'm also one of the co-directors for a resource known as FITBR, which is an informatics system that houses clinical TBI data. It's actually a joint effort between the DoD, NIH, including the Center for Information Technology. So FITBR was established back in 2012, and I've been involved with the oversight of this system since 2016. So it's really an excellent resource for the research community. I'm also one of the leads on the TBI portion of a National Research Action Plan, which is known as the NRAP. This action plan actually stems from an executive order during the Obama administration, and the purpose of this plan was to increase interagency coordination when it comes to research related to TBI, PTSD, and suicide prevention. So this action plan was actually supposed to be in place for 10 years, and that 10 years is almost up. In fact, it'll be up in August. So I've taken a lead to figure out, well, how exactly can we, as a funding agencies that's primarily responsible for funding TBI research, how can we continue to work together efficiently going forward once this action plan ends? So one of those ways is by establishing a interagency MOA, which is something that I'm working on now, and that I've also taken the lead on. So I'm also working on a classification workshop for TBI So over the years, I've heard, so many people say that the current classification system is outdated, it's not precise. So I finally got to the point where I said, well, what can we do about this? So that's a workshop that I'm currently in the mix of working on and organizing along with some of my colleagues here at NIH. And I'm also the lead or co-chair on several different other initiatives related to the National Academy of Sciences, Common Data Elements, as well as BioSyn. So I believe this is my last slide, but I just wanted to close by saying that you're going to hear today that there's so much talent that comes from HBCUs, and I'm very happy to have been a part of this panel today. So thank you for your time. I'll close there. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Nsini. She's very, very busy person, and I always ask her when I have hard questions to make me look better. But so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next speaker, and that's Ashley Givens, and she helps me out every day, gets me out of trouble every day. So I'll turn it over to you, Ashley.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Givens, and here is my journey. Next slide, please. So I was born in Washington, D.C. I was raised in Silver Spring, Maryland. I attended Montgomery County Public Schools, and up until high school, I had to go to Prince George's County Public Schools, where I attended High Point High School. In this picture, you see pictures of myself, my husband, my daughter, my mother, and my father. Next slide, please. I attended Bowie State University in 2009. I became a member of the gospel choir while attending Bowie State University. I was also an NAACP chapter member and also a member of the National Society of Leadership and Success. Following Bowie State University, I attended Grand Canyon University online, and where I received a Master's of Education. And then the final pictures that you see on the slide is not only did I attend those universities, but I also implemented what I learned at those universities. And now I have been the program director at my church. I'm of the youth department and also the program director of our academy, which is called Deliverance Academy. And in this academy, we tutor young children who are below grade level in reading and math. Under my leadership, those young students most of them have graduated, except for some of the younger ones, which my daughter is in one of those pictures. But most of the older kids had graduated. I have two people have graduated so far, one from Howard University, one from Richmond University, and I have one student that's on his way to North Carolina A&T on a full scholarship. He started out with us reading under the grade level. Now he's above and beyond on reading on his grade level. So next slide, please. So my career journey was after I graduated from Bowie State University. I actually got a job at Bowie State University working in the Office of Research and Sponsor Programs, or they used to call it ORSP. And in this program, in this office, we provided assistance for pre and post awards, sponsors to staff members who had received funding from DOD, NIH, FEMA, just to name a few of those programs. I stayed at ORSP for a few years, and then I landed my first government job at NOAA, which is the National Oceanic Atmosphere Administration under the U.S. Department of Commerce. And working there, I worked in the National Environmental Satellite Data and Information, which is also called NESDIS, and also the Office of Habitat Conservation. And in this office, I help with the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and also with the coral reef restoration program. So as you see there, I have pictures of my old colleagues. And then finally, I landed a job here at NIH working at NINDS in the Division of Translational Research. Next slide, please. So my current role, I'm a program specialist here at NINDS. I joined in 2009 as a contractor, and I was an operations coordinator then. And then July of last year, 2022, I became a federal government employee. And I'm a program specialist, and I support two programs. One of the programs we call Ignite, or the Innovation Grants to Nurture Initial Translational Efforts, or and also the Transneural Devices team. And if you're interested in any funding opportunities, I posted the link below. That's all that I had for my presentation, but I just wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity and to let you know that being at HBCU has definitely prepared me. Bowie's slogan is preparing for life. And I learned that working at Bowie in the grants office, who would have known that I'll be helping with grants here at NIH. So that definitely had prepared me for life. And I'm so excited to be an alum of Bowie State University. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ashley. We'll continue. I just, was thinking that and wanted to say, if you don't realize that there is talent coming from HBCUs, then you need to wake up, because it's unbelievable, especially over the years, because I've been here forever. It's unbelievable the people we have been able to recruit here, all from HBCUs, that are really just making this whole institute turn. So anyway, with that said, let me keep going. And our next speaker is going to be Brittany Brooks, and I'll hand it over to you, Brittany.
Hi, everybody. So I'm happy to share my journey from HBCU to NIH. My name is Brittany Brooks. Like stated, I come from a two-parent household. My family is, they're all proud HBCU graduates. My mom and dad went to Livingstone College, which is in Salisbury, North Carolina. It's a very small HBCU. I'm the youngest. My brother and sister both attended Tennessee State University, where I attended. My parents also adopted two of my younger cousins when they were 1 year old and 1 month. VG just finished up her sophomore year at Hampton, and Maurice just finished up his first year at Tennessee State. So a very huge HBCU family. I wanted to start off introducing the program that introduced me to biomedical science, and that's the NIH Step Up program. When I was in 10th grade in high school band, my band director gave me the information about this program because I love science. He knew I wanted to be a physician, and so he said, you should apply. And with this program, I was able to start doing biomedical research at the Medical University of South Carolina the summer after my 10th grade year of high school. And I'm sharing this program with you all because they have a high school component, but they also have an undergraduate component. So I did this in high school. I also did this throughout my undergraduate matriculation during the summer. I was able to do biomedical research at Johns Hopkins. I was able to do biomedical research again at the Medical University of South Carolina, at Vanderbilt. So different institutions through the NIH Step Up program, the high school and the undergrad program. And so that's where a lot of these pictures are from. I'm still very close with a lot of my colleagues from this program. It was a very amazing introduction again into biomedical science at a very young age. Next slide. So I went to undergrad at Tennessee State University, majoring in biological science. Again, I wanted to be a physician at the time, and I had a full HBCU experience. I was fully involved with student government. I was a campus queen. The sophomore my year, I joined a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Psi chapter, all while still doing biomedical research every summer. Again, like I said, I was very active in student government. I served as chief of staff, class representative, many different roles throughout my matriculation. Next slide. I graduated spring 2011 from undergrad, and after undergraduate, I was able to translate my summer research experience and get a job as a lab tech, and then eventually a lab manager at the Medical University of South Carolina. Again, I'm from Charleston, so it was very easy to to work there. This also allowed me time to retake the MCAT because I wanted to be a physician. I was accepted into medical school. I went to Ross University School of Medicine, finished my first 2 years, and then sometimes life will throw a wrench. And the wrench that happened in my life was my mom became sick with breast cancer. And since I'm the youngest, my brother and sister at the time were both married and had kids. I dropped out of school, stopped everything, and became my mom's official caretaker. And so after she had an amazing fight with breast cancer, she eventually succumbed to her illness. And at the time, I was given the opportunity to come back to medical school, but at the time I couldn't do it after going through everything I went through just with her treatment, with the doctors and everything. I kind of didn't even know if I wanted to be a doctor or do research or do anything with medicine. And next slide. So I took some time to travel after her passing. I did a volunteer initiative where I lived on a small island, that's that top picture, called Dominica in the West Indies. They have programs where they're providing medical care to the indigenous population there, and you can live there and you can help. And one of the things I saw while I was there was the United States hospital ship, the USS Mercy. And they come around through the West Indies and they provide care to different islands. And I was just like, oh, this is absolutely amazing. When I did get back to the United States, after a year or so living abroad and again traveling, I tried to do clinical research, working as like a clinical research assistant. But again, I was still a little unsure of what I wanted my life to look like after everything that happened with my mom. Next. And so I decided to enlist in the United States Navy. Yes, that's a big left. It was a big left. It was a big left for my family, who's a very education-oriented family. Nobody really understood, and it was a very big decision, but it was one of the really definite good decisions that kind of changed the trajectory of where I was at that time. And it was necessary. It was a good decision. I joined the Navy. I thought I was going to get stationed on the hospital ship, but you eventually realize the military doesn't work like that. You don't get to just say, I want to go in the hospital ship and go. But I did get to serve as a hospital corpsman, which is kind of like a Navy nurse. You do a lot of patient care. You provide medical care to active duty, to veterans, to Marines. It's a very rewarding experience. And so I was able to serve my 4 years in the Navy. Next slide. After that, I was able to get into my program at Howard, where I am getting my doctorate of philosophy in biomedical science. And the summer after my first year, I was invited to come to MBL, which is the Marine Biology Laboratory in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. While there, I met my PI, and he was talking about his lab at NIH. And I was like, hey, if you need a volunteer to come in your lab and, I can help with your mouse stuff, whatever, I'll do anything. I will volunteer in your lab. And he said, yeah, you can sign on as a special volunteer. Perfect. So I signed on as a special volunteer, volunteered for one semester. And I remember one day he came in, he said, you're here more than the people I pay to be here. And I was like, yeah, I love science. I love what you're doing in this lab. And he was like, I'm going to bring you in as an IRTA fellow. And so I got my full fellowship. So I was invited to complete my PhD research at NIH, which is absolutely amazing. So the third picture in the top, that's me at MBL. Again, it's in Cape Cod. It's absolutely amazing. I had a wonderful summer there. Just to show you guys, I'm diverse. I love snowboarding. I love traveling. I actually just went to the Renaissance concert in Sweden, which was really good. I love my family. I love science. In this bottom right, that's me patch clamping, which is this interesting neuroscience technique that I did learn in MBL. Next slide. And so that's kind of what I do, what my story that got me here, what I actually do, my research, my PhD research is on olfactory epithelium and how it reconstitutes after injury. We're all familiar with not being able to smell after COVID. And so what's the difference in me not being able to smell and my cells not growing back efficiently and not getting that sense of smell back for 1 month versus another person who might not get their sense of smell back for a year, or another person who might never get their sense of smell back. And that's how these stem cells decide to grow and repopulate your nasal epithelium and those neurons. And so that's what I'm studying. And so it's kind of applicable to COVID because you lost your sense of smell with COVID. But on the greater scheme, it's a lot of cell biology, a lot of cell culture, a lot of single cell RNA sequencing. So a lot of amazing experiences and techniques. I love working at NINDS. It's been very rewarding. Next slide. So just wanted to follow up and show you guys the special volunteer program. That's how I got into NIH. It's okay to volunteer and say, hey, I'm going to volunteer for this amount of time, and you might get rewarded on the other end. Step Up Undergrad is an amazing program. My fellowship is the IRTA fellow, and it allows graduate students at any institute or any university to come to NIH to complete their graduate or their PhD research. Thank you.
Okay, wow. Okay, these stories are, we got to write a book or something. This is just amazing. And to think what's out there in the folks that are listening to us, it's just remarkable. And I'm just really glad we're having this, and I hope we can keep it up. And I will not talk anymore, and I will introduce our last speaker, actually, Dr. Chris Hollingsworth, and he's going to talk to you about a lot of good, great stuff. Stop there.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Chris Hollingsworth. I am a veterinarian. Currently, I am working as a small animal medicine and surgery intern at a private practice in Gaithersburg, but I am actually a special volunteer for NINDS in the lab of Dr. Desmond Brown. And I'll get to kind of what I do and how I got here. I represent about 1.2% of Black veterinarians in the United States. It's very few of us, and my path to getting to where I am now has been very convoluted. So I graduated Morehouse College in 2013 with a degree in biology, and actually had no intentions on becoming a veterinarian. Didn't know about the field. I didn't know any other Black veterinarians. I didn't even own pets until my senior year of college. And King, who is the dog pictured on my right here, he's my inspiration to become a veterinarian. And one of the things that, I feel as though is on the upswing is pet ownership, especially within the Black community. And with us being 1.2% of the veterinary doctors, there's very few of us to really connect with. So knowing that I had a unique position and a unique interest in veterinary medicine, my goal was to one day come back and serve my community. So the difference between me being at Morehouse College and where I am now as a recent grad from Virginia Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine, which is a joint program actually between the University of Maryland College Park and Virginia Tech. That vet school serves 3 states technically, including West Virginia. So there's a little bit over 30 veterinary schools in the country, and it's very competitive, and there's just not enough seats to really fill the gaps that we need. So between 2013 and 2023, which is a very, very long time and many gap years in between, I spent that time figuring out what it is exactly that I wanted to do in veterinary medicine and where I fit, as well as what do I have to do to get into vet school. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So I got my inspiration, like I said, from my dog King back in 2013 when I adopted him as a senior at Morehouse. And he inspired me to look into working with pets. So I picked up a job at PetSmart, and I simply just worked as an associate at the cash register. And it was great because I got to interact with a lot of different clients and people that would come in, and the old ladies with the 10 cats that'll tell you about, the life that they've had with this particular animal and how much they mean to them. And that was really meaningful. And it really got me thinking about how I could potentially be a part of the medical care that these animals receive. So I ended up working at this PetSmart. Some of you may recognize it. This is the one that's right off Nicholson Lane there in Rockville. And I worked there as a veterinary assistant at the animal hospital that was inside. And in that position, I really fell in love with veterinary medicine. I fell in love with being able to apply my degree finally in biology and in medicine. And I really took every opportunity that I had to learn new skills and learn more about the field of veterinary medicine. And it was in that position that I was certain that I wanted to be a veterinarian. The issue was that during my time at Morehouse, I actually didn't really have much of a passion. So I know I liked science, but I didn't really know if I wanted to be a dentist. I didn't know if I wanted to be a physician. I didn't have anything that would necessarily make me want to take the MCAT or take the DAT. you really have to have some motivating factors that make you want to sit through that. And I didn't have it. So I didn't have the highest GPA in the world. I graduated with a 2.8, and I wasn't dumb. I just didn't have anything that really drove me to achieve a particular goal, like getting into medical school or getting into a research position. So knowing that, I had to make myself stand out a little bit more on my vet school application. So that's when I took a job as a lab animal technician at NIH through a contracting company. At that time, it was Sobrand Bioscience. It was a unique opportunity because I've always wanted to work at NIH, but I never got the opportunity to. And I already had the animal background, so it was kind of just plug and play. And it was a unique opportunity because I was trained in a species that I wasn't familiar with. I worked specifically with rodents, different rodent models, working with different laboratories that were conducting all different kinds of infectious disease models. And in one lab in particular, with NIAID, I was able to be brought on as actual research support specialist. And in that position, I was able to gain mentorship that I didn't take advantage of when I was at Morehouse. And through this mentorship with my PI, he really pushed me beyond my boundaries. And I was more so willing to settle on, well, you know, if I don't get into veterinary school, I'll just go get my master's in something and, you know, be a medical technician. And he would not allow me to do that because he saw more for myself than I did at that point. And mentorship is something that I feel a lot of people don't really take advantage of. And in those moments, having a mentor that's willing to see you and see your vision, even when you don't see it yourself, is very important. And ultimately, that's, you know, a huge reason as to, you know, where I am today. So in that position, I was able to get papers published. I was working with Dr. Edmund Tremont, who recently passed away, who was part of the AIDS division. And being on papers with him, collaborating with him was something that was amazing. And through this experience, it really made me stand out in my application. And in 2019, August 2019, in the fall, I was accepted into veterinary school and was able to get my white coat. And that's my mom actually coating me at our white coat ceremony. Next slide. So all of this, you know, graduating veterinary school, where am I now and how did I get here? So I developed an interest in neurology because the dog who inspired me to become a veterinarian actually developed a brain tumor. He developed a glioma, and this was during my third year of veterinary school. So during my final exam week, and it was tough. And I probably read every single glioma paper out there to see what it is I could do, my options, life expectancy, and it really made me want to devote my time to changing the outcomes of pets that have these diseases. So in that moment, I look back and I thought about, you know, my experience in lab animal medicine and the models that we use. And the models that we're currently using in medicine are mostly mice. However, we in the veterinary community have a unique position where we also have animals that develop spontaneous tumors other than humans. And my goal is to be able to bridge the veterinary neurology side and the human neurology side, because there's a lot that we can learn from each other as far as advancing the field of neurology and neurosurgery. So I reached out to Dr. Brown. I was just surfing the internet one day and I just had a moment where I was kind of just curious. And I looked up glioma research at NIH. And Dr. Desmond Brown, who is a neurosurgeon from Jamaica, his profile popped up and he's studying gliomas. He's studying the effects of different drugs. And I was interested because that was someone who looked like me, I'm also from the Caribbean. I was born in Guyana, South America, but I moved here when I was 3. So we had that connection. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, you know, I want to come there. I want to spend some time as an extern for a couple of weeks, but I'm sincerely interested in what you're doing. And I think that my background in lab animal medicine can help you outside of just an externship. So he brought me on as a special volunteer, and currently right now I am helping him design different animal models to look at different glioma recurrence therapies. And his primary study is on primary cilia, and it's thought that these organelles that are located on your cells are responsible for modulating different or affecting different outcomes with gliomas and could be potentially the cause of recurrence. So I'm helping him to design those models. And like I said, outside of NIH, I am a small animal medicine and surgery intern here at Veterinary Referral Associates here in Gaithersburg. We do a host of different things here. We have about almost 9 or 10 different specialties that I'll be rotating through for the next year. However, I do some relief work as a general veterinarian and general practice at a practice in Olney. And next year, I plan on pursuing a residency in veterinary neurology and neurosurgery, and in hopes of being able to find patients that do have gliomas like my dog did, and hopefully use those canine models to help prove the efficacy of the stuff that we're looking at in mice. Next slide. One of my biggest initiatives that I have right now and that I had through veterinary school is increasing diversity. As I mentioned before, it's about 1 to 2% of us as Black veterinarians, and it's just not enough. I've had instances where the differences and the cultural differences explain a lot in how we care for our pets as Black pet owners that other people just may not see or understand, and that impacts care. So I feel as though there has to be more that's done to increase diversity, not just in veterinary medicine, but in medicine in general, research in general. And for decades, HBCUs have produced some of the world's most influential Black scientists and scholars, some of which you're seeing here on the Zoom call. Others are posted in the hallways at NIH. Some you don't even know about. And at the basis of a lot of modern day medicine, you'll find that if you dig deep enough, there'll be some person of color who was instrumental in designing or developing some kind of important treatment or cure. And for me, especially in this area, there are so many different HBCUs where students are interested in medicine, interested in science, but a lot of schools aren't tapping into that. And that can go for, most other states, especially on the East Coast. There's so many HBCUs with untapped potential. So establishing pipelines and direct access with HBCU institutions is something that I'm very passionate about. And oftentimes you hear about people wanting to increase diversity, but they don't have the programs and they don't have the resources to really ensure that equity and inclusion are also implemented as well, because you can have the most diverse population, but if people don't feel equal and they don't feel included, and you don't have programs in place to make sure that they're getting everything out of that environment and they're not feeling like they're being ostracized, then that's something that you have to take into account. So you have those 3 things. That's an environment that's fit to advance animal, human, and environmental health, which is something that I'm passionate, because it's all interconnected. Animal health, 70% of transmissible diseases to humans come from an animal vector. So to be able to understand a lot of the human diseases, me as a veterinarian, I have to understand how the environment and the animals that are housed in that environment, how can those things impact human health and vice versa. So I think that veterinary medicine, and I am someone who is going to be very much a proponent of trying to get more people into veterinary medicine, because I actually think it's the most diverse medical field ever, because you can do just about anything you want. You can do any specialty that you can think of. We have surgeons, we have ophthalmologists, we have dentistry, we have internal medicine, neurology, neurosurgery, we have cardiology. So all of those things you can do as a veterinarian, but the good thing is that we have large animals too. So, you know, there's so many different ways in which that, you know, you can focus your interests. And I know people that are veterinarians who work at NIH who don't touch animals at all. So I think that if you're interested in medicine, taking a peek in the veterinary medicine is something that you should probably put on your list, especially if you do have an affinity for animals. So, but that's pretty much all I have, I believe. So, the next generation in bridge building, if you're looking for a Black veterinarian in the area, Black DVM Network is a great resource. It's also a great resource for any paraprofessional or professional in the medical field, in the veterinary medical field, that's looking for different opportunities, that's looking for mentorship. It's just a very good resource for you. And the National Association for Black Veterinarians is also a national organization that is dedicated to the same thing. A lot of different CE opportunities, networking opportunities. We're out here. It's a very few of us, but that means that, like, I know most of the Black veterinarians that graduated recently. That's how small our field is. And that same community reminds me of the community that we get from HBCUs, because it's few of us, but it's that family. It's that we look out for one another and we support one another. And these two entities are very important in maintaining that. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for giving me that time. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out.
All right, thank you so much, Chris, and all of our panelists. I just want to say a sincere, just express sincere gratitude for each of you sharing your stories, many of which have very vulnerable, tear-jerking, at least on my end, aspects to them. And that is not a small thing. So thank you for your willingness to share. I think all of you have inspired everyone in this audience, whether they are a colleague, a student, someone still figuring out what their next life transition will be, really very special. So I will kind of piggyback off of some notes that Chris really just left us on about increasing diversity, equity, and inclusion in different spaces that we occupy, and how we can get more HBCU students involved. So can you guys talk about any of your work with HBCUs? Like, do you still visit your HBCU? Do you let them know about opportunities that are of interest to you? Like, what's your connection, either with your home institution or other HBCUs across the country?
So I'll go first with Bowie State University. I actually just reached out to ORSP 2 weeks ago because they were looking to apply to a few grants. So I did tell them, like, you guys have to apply to NIH because there's stuff out there, there's grants out there for you guys to get, but you have to like research it. So they were interested, and apparently they texted me last Thursday and said that they're going to go ahead and look at some grants so they can apply to. So I do reach out and reach back to help other people as well.
For me,
Yeah.
I'm actually currently working with some veterinarians in the Atlanta area because I actually want to start a pre-veterinary program at Morehouse. I think that there's enough interest that, you know, they need a support system, and with the amount of doctors that Morehouse pushes out, which are the most Black male doctors every year, I think that, you know, we need to be able to reach back and say, hey, this opportunity is available and I'm here to help. So that's something that I'm trying to spearhead.
And I'll just quickly say, I often get emails from Howard saying, hey, if you know, regardless of where you ended up as far as, you know, science, academia, government, you know, we want to hear your story so that way you can share that with our students. So I often get those type of emails, and I have not had the opportunity or chance to go, but I think the next email that I get, I'm going to actually, you know, let them know I would be pleased to attend and kind of spread the word that there are so many different avenues for students out there.
All right. So in terms of it, I think one resounding sort of theme is I started this journey not really having an endpoint in mind. I just kind of went with the flow. And whether that's due to life circumstances or just a change in your mind, what advice would you give to folks figuring out what the next move should be? Like, do you have any advice, or what was a big support for you, even when you were like, I don't know what's next, but this helped me get through? Yeah, I mean, and I'll also throw that out to Rakonda or Brittany first to answer about like, how do you figure out what you're supposed to do next?
Well, I know for me, it was just, just my faith standing strong, believing in the higher power, just to know that it was more to life than what I was accustomed to. And also how I mentioned, I am the oldest of 5 siblings, and it's like I took care of them like my little babies. So I just didn't want to give up on them. I wanted to be such an inspiration, an inspiration to them. So just, just never giving up, no matter what, like you said, what the life circumstances are. Just know that the other side, the other side is always sunshine, and just never let things in your life set you back. Just keep it pushing.
I agree with Rakonda. Also, yeah, just persistence. Things, like I said, life happens to you. And for about 22 years, my life, for the most part, was perfect. I didn't really have any big issues. I never had any issues academically. I didn't have, college was not too challenging. And then after college, life kind of hit me, and I had to adapt. And that was kind of, it was challenging. But again, I found my persistence and realized, there's a certain life that I want, and I can make that happen. And so I just took my time making decisions. Like when I joined the military, when I say my family was absolutely irate, because again, my family's very education heavy and nobody understood my plan. I did not understand my plan at the time either, but it worked out. And now on the other end, my family's able to look at it and say, oh, I guess that was the right decision at the time. And so certain things, sometimes you do stuff, people don't understand it. Sometimes you do stuff, your family doesn't necessarily understand it. But if you hold fast and, really hold strong to what you want to get out of a situation. I had specific things I wanted to get out of joining the military, and I got that. And so on the other side, everybody, my family, everybody's like, oh, that was amazing, But again, during the whole process, no, I was not as confident about any decisions. Life happened, and I just tried to keep up and stay persistent with my goals.
So guys, before we continue, I just wanted to stop and take a moment to introduce one of my favorite people who has taught me a lot here and who's talking to you right now, and that's Dr. Margaret Matthews. So, who is just one of the best scientists, and also that is here. And also, while we're doing this, in case we don't, I want to thank the office, the Open Office, which is programs to enhance neuroscience workforce diversity, where Dr. Matthews works. So please continue.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't introduce myself because I just wanted to get into like talking to my colleagues. So thank you, Dr. Jett.
Yeah, and
that.
also everyone else within the office, especially, I don't want to, not get this in, especially Anna, who really got this whole thing going. So I'll stop there.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I love what both Rakonda and Brittany are mentioning, like having faith, like that's sometimes all you might have to hold on to, right? Like you don't know what's next, but you're just gonna take a step forward, and hopefully there's some solid ground there, even if it's just kind of soft ground, as long as it doesn't, it's not quicksand, you can make it through. Chris, were you gonna respond to that question?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna throw in, for me, I think having a sense of perseverance and knowing that, you can think back to all the negative things that have happened, all the trials and tribulations, but at some point you got through it. So, keeping your head down and moving forward is important, but also keeping your mind and your options open. So again, you don't know what life may have for you. You don't know what position you might be in a year from now. Again, I didn't see myself being a veterinarian or being where I was when I graduated college. It wasn't even in any part of my brain. And even though, I'm 31 right now and, just graduated, it's never too late to find your passion.
Yeah. And I think we all can agree, like our HBCUs instill that kind of, approach in us, that there's no handouts. You got to get this on your own. They will help you, but there's no excuses. There's no, you can just do whatever and think that that's going to be acceptable. Sometimes your best isn't good enough. You got to come with even more than that, because the world can be cruel. And so there's so much preparation there in our HBCUs. Dr. Jones, you have a question. Are you able to unmute and ask it?
Yes. Can everybody hear me and see me? I think I'm a little blurry.
Yep, we can hear you. And now we can see you.
All right, thank you. I had more of some comments more than a question. I was typing them in the chat because I just saw your chat to say put all the questions in the chat after I raised my hand. But I just wanted to thank everybody on this call. It's been such a delight to be on this call. It's been such a delight to hear everybody's story. I am Dr. Derek Jones, Jr. I am a 2013 graduate of Virginia Union University, like Rakonda. And I am a 2018 graduate of Tuskegee University College of Veterinary Medicine. So I'm one of the 1.2% in the veterinary community, like Dr. Hollingsworth. I had a similar path like everybody else. I went to vet school thinking I was going to come out and be a practicing veterinarian, but I currently serve as a public health veterinarian with the U.S. Department of Agriculture here in Washington, D.C. in headquarters. And so my journey has been, quite similar to most. Born and raised in here in PG County, Maryland, and went to Crossland High School and graduated from there in 2009. And like many of those have said, I did not think I was going to be working for the government when I was growing up and wanted to be a veterinarian, because I wanted to be a veterinarian since I was 6. And did not see this for my life, but in my second year of veterinary school, I found a love for public health. And here I am to where I get to keep the humane practices and slaughter of animals. How can I say this? In line with USDA regulations, but I also keep meat, poultry, and egg products safe to eat for those on the call who eat meat, protein, and eggs. So I really enjoyed my journey. I really enjoyed this talk. And another tidbit that I just would like to share is that I am highly involved in making sure that those, especially that African-American and interested in veterinary medicine, help them to do so. Thus far, I've helped 7 people get into veterinary school, and all of whom are African-American. And I'm currently the vice president of the Delmarva, DC chapter of the Tuskegee Veterinary Medical Alumni Association. I just wanted to throw out there that on July 8th, we will be having a veterinary career day and at a community center in Columbia, Maryland. And we will have 10 veterinarians, 7 of whom are African-Americans, 9 of whom are Tuskegee graduates, that will be talking about all different aspects of veterinary medicine. And then we will also be having the director of admissions from Tuskegee College of Veterinary Medicine at that event. So if so obliged and okay with the moderators of this talk, I would love to put the link for that event inside of the chat. So anybody who is interested or knows someone interested in veterinary medicine, especially African-American, they could come to that event and they would learn a lot, because like Chris was saying, this is a very, very diverse field, and a lot of people don't know the many things that you can go into once you're a veterinarian. So again, if okay with everyone, I would love to be able to put that information in the chat. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we are up at time. Thank you again to all of our panelists. I will go ahead and turn it back over to you, Dr. Jett, to close us out. Or to
Okay.
Anna, I'm not sure, Dr. Ibrahimi.
Yeah, I was gonna actually let Anna do this, and she opened it up and such a great job. So, but for me, thanks to everybody. This is fantastic. I hope we can keep it going. Unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I also just want to echo my huge thanks to the panelists. You were so generous to share your stories. I know it can be vulnerable to do so, but it has inspired so many. And to have this available for others now that we can, whenever we connect with other trainees, that we can share your stories with them. So thank you all for attending, especially on a Friday afternoon. Hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend ahead, and we'll be sharing the recording and all the resources that were shared by the panelists. We'll send them in an email next week. So look out for that, and please do stay connected with us, and we'll post some more open stage webinars in the future. Thanks again.
Thank you.